Hey Camden, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm gonna make you the guest host so you can do your thing.
Okay,
How are you today?
good. How are you doing?
Good. Where are you located these days? Are you still in Eastern North Carolina?
Yeah, so we're actually in Raleigh.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
are you in Greenville?
Yeah, we're kind of spread all over. I'm actually in a place called Pink Hill.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I'm familiar with Pink Hill.
Yeah, you are. I'm shocked. That's great.
So
Fantastic.
Pink Hill or Rose Hill that has the largest frying pan?
That's Rose Hill.
Rose Hill? Okay,
Yeah, Pink Hill is famous for the only town in North Carolina that says "Welcome to" and "Come again" on the same sign.
okay.
I just made that up, but
uh,
that's all we got.
uh,
Yeah. Hey Ben, how are you?
Hi, Dennis. I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. I'm so glad you guys could do this today. I hope we got the word out fast enough. It's a crazy time, so we really appreciate you fitting us in, and I'm very excited. While we're waiting for everybody, one of the issues that we hit on really hard is speed of websites, particularly mobile, for
uh,
e-commerce, and you know, the solutions for that, as you know, whether it's a PWA front end or some other solution, are all very expensive and probably out of the reach of many bootstrapped type entrepreneurs. So I was really thrilled to hear what you guys were doing and to learn more about it because I think it'll actually help a lot of folks in our little ecosystem that we have.
I really think so as well. It sounds like the perfect fit, right? That's the exact problem that we've noticed as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, you know, most of our companies, not all, but most of them use Shopify
mhm.
as their website, which of course gives them a mobile, whatever. They call it an app. I'm not sure it is. I think it's PWA. But that's what most of them use. We do have some people use BigCommerce, and we also see some people who use things like Etsy. Which is really a marketplace, I guess, more accurately. So it's kind of a wide range of different kinds of folks. And if it's okay with you guys, we're recording this so that because we work with people that are literally working as opposed to students. Sometimes we end up with a fair number of people watching the video after, and then they send me questions. I go, "Who is this?" No, anyway. So that's also one of the things. Hey Rachel, how are you? Hey Branson.
Hey, how are you
Hello, how are
doing?
you?
Good, good. So anyway, that's kind of our deal, guys. And we really appreciate you being here. And I'm gonna wait a few minutes until get a few more folks. Hopefully they show up and then we'll go ahead.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Good, good. Fantastic. Um, So I think it's cool you guys are both from Eastern North Carolina. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Um, yeah, both from East North Carolina. I'm from Goldsboro. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
How'd you end up being from Goldsboro and getting into technology? I'm very impressed.
and stuff happens, I guess, so.
For me, it was really video games.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, I wanted to. I liked playing games, so I bought a computer, right? And I'm a kid who like can't afford to buy games, so I get pretty technically savvy, pirating games and right, making sure they work and everything, right? That's how I got into technology as a kid, at
Very
least.
cool. You still look like a kid to me. I'm old, man. You look 18 years old to me. I know you're not, but still you look it, which is good, right?
Yeah,
That's how my
yep,
son got into games. He started taking apart any of our old computers and Frankensteining them back together and finding
exactly.
pieces and just making it work.
Yep, exactly. That's how I got into technology in general a long, long time ago. My closet was filled with like old laptops and old
Hmm.
computers that I was ripping stuff out of.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did that for a while.
my son just turned 18, and one of the most annoying instances for us was he took apart our security system and just completely just cannibalized the thing.
Uh-huh. I've actually done the exact same thing. Except
Yeah.
I broke it.
Yeah.
But I
Really?
was for I was like 12, so it was okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, Grant, how you doing, Grant? Glad you're here. Please pay attention to people coming because I'm going to be listening to these guys and I might miss their request to be admitted. So if our astute assistant Grant Smith is with us, and he's really good at that. So I think we'll go ahead and start. And
Hey, Dennis,
hey, yeah,
can you make me co-host?
I did. I thought. Let me try again if I didn't already. Let me see here. Okay. There we go. Now you are. Sorry.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought I did that. Okay. Well, we have with us today two Eastern North Carolina natives, one from Goldsboro, one from Mount Olive. And I hear the one from Mount Olive does not even like pickles. I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, we have with us Ben Hardison and Camden Connican, who are the co-founders of the hottest new startup in North Carolina called Padeo, Padeo. And what caught my eye about what they were doing is, as we've talked about in this class and our other cohorts, we talk about speed of a website, particularly if it's an e-commerce website, and the need for responsiveness. And many of you have run into the problem of, well, hell, how much money is that going to cost to, it's just one of those things that's been a theme for this class. And, I'm pitching things that cost $80,000 to $100,000. It's just not going to happen. So anyway, these guys have come up with a solution or a set of solutions that address this particular issue, and particularly for small bootstrapped businesses. Not everybody has a ton of venture capital. So I can't tell you how excited I am to have these guys here today, and to I promise I'll shut up and I won't even ask like all kinds of questions and stuff, although I probably will. You all know me well enough to know that I will do that. So with that, let me turn it over to Ben and Camden.
Sure. Thank you very much for having us, Dennis. I'm going to share my screen, if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we're Padeo. We are an NC State startup. We started probably, I would say 6 months to a year ago, working on kind of the concepts that turned into Padeo. And as Dennis was talking about, page speed is a very important issue when it comes to e-commerce and for businesses being able to get customers from their website. He mentioned that a lot of you guys use Shopify or BigCommerce or WordPress or any of those platforms. And so Padeo is a nice solution because it works on any website with zero type of overhead or developer expertise. And so we're going to talk to you about kind of the problem behind Padeo and what our potential solutions are for small businesses. And so it's just me and Ben. We have been friends since freshman year of high school. And we've worked together on a ton of different projects. We both went to NC State. I went to College of Design and graduated last May. And so we started working on Padeo together. And so, yeah, this is where it's going. I'll let Ben introduce himself. So. Can't hear you, Ben. Can you hear me?
Oh, so sorry, guys. I was on mute. Like I was saying, I'm Ben. I'm the one from Mount Olive. And I also graduated last May from NC State with a degree in computer science out of the College of Engineering.
Yeah.
You guys got it. Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. That's perfect.
Yeah. So the problem with page speed is fairly well known. If you guys follow like Google's marketing platform blog or anything like that, most search engine optimization websites are going to talk about how important page speed is for the health of your overall website presentation. The bottom line is that the longer a website takes to load, the less time that a potential customer is going to spend using your website. So whether you're an e-commerce business that's selling products online, or if you are collecting leads on your website, or some type of trade business like a HVAC or anything else, the faster your website is, the more likely you are to make a sale or make a conversion from that user. A very large scale study that Google did found that from 1 second to 5 seconds in page speed made the visitors 90% more likely to completely abandon the session. And so that means that, making a phone call, to book an appointment, or requesting a quote, or adding a product to cart never happened. And so just a tenth of a second increase in page load time can boost conversion rates by 8%. So it's pretty well known that even just a very small improvement in your site's performance can mean tons of sales that your business can make at the end of the day. And so for every $10,000 that your business is earning from your website, a 1 second delay is costing you $1,500. And so this is a big issue that we feel like a lot of businesses that are getting that are new to e-commerce and to having a successful online presence really aren't addressing. And I will say, we're really just offering some suggestions here that can help your business. I'm sure that tons of people on this call have been business leaders, industry leaders for longer than Ben and I have been alive, right? So we're not trying to come in and say, okay, well, here's what you're doing wrong, and you're doing everything else wrong, and we have the only solution for you. We're really just trying to make some suggestions that we feel like would be helpful for every business that has a website, and what we feel like we can, the value we feel like we can provide as a company for our customers. So yeah, every business needs a faster website. As we mentioned, whether you're selling products or you are the product, page speed is directly correlates to the sales that you earn from your website. And this affects every business, and a lot of people are not aware of it. And so offering a nice, intuitive way to make your website faster can be good for your business's sales in the long run. So.
Right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the technology behind Padeo, which is preloading. Preloading is a tool that is built into most web browsers already. What preloading is basically loading all of the resources, all the things that make a website page work. Preloading is loading them before they're actually needed. So to make that make a little more sense, the diagram on the right shows moving from page A to page B on a website without preloading and with preloading. So without preloading, a user would be on page A, and when they click to go to page A, everything that page needs to work is downloaded as it loads. So when they move to page B, they click, see a little blank screen, it's loading. What's happening is all of the resources, everything it needs to make that page work is downloading in that time. And that download, depending on your network connection, can take a really long time, right? That's where most of the delay in page load actually comes from. So with preloading, all the things that make the next page work can be loaded before a user actually clicks to go to the next page. So you significantly cut the transition time. You significantly cut the actual load time. So this is a technology that already exists and is built into lots of web browsers. The problem is that it's a developer tool, right? It's for website administrators, and using it effectively requires a lot of time, and it requires technical expertise. It requires knowledge about how users will navigate through your website, what pages they'll move, maybe if they're on the home page, what's the next page they'll go to. You need to have that kind of information, and getting that kind of information takes a lot of resources, right? Resources that small local businesses just don't have the time to do. They don't have the time to take advantage of this. So if we can automate this process, cut out the time needed, cut out the resource needed, cut out the technical know-how, small businesses can take advantage of these really, really nice speed benefits of preloading as well.
So like Ben's saying, what's needed here in order for businesses to make use of preloading is an easy code-free way to predictively preload your website's resources. And so that's why we made Padeo. And what's nice about Padeo is that it requires zero technical knowledge. If you've added a Facebook marketing pixel or Google Analytics to your website, or even have just set up a Shopify store, it's easier than that, right? All you have to do is copy and paste one code snippet to your website, and Padeo starts working instantly and automatically. So you don't have to import any type of data. You don't have to work with some API. There's zero coding involved. And so with Padeo, what we do is we monitor how users are behaving on your website and predict which step a user is likely to go to next. And since we can predict which page they're going to, we're able to preload a list of images and JavaScript and everything else that makes the website work in advance. That way the page speed is instant. And so if you're using Shopify or WordPress or BigCommerce, Padeo works with every website. And it works automatically with every website, which is really nice, right? And so there's several advantages to using Padeo compared to other performance optimization providers. And Ben can tell you about all of those.
Right. So as Camden was saying, a lot of these other solutions are going to take some management. They're going to take some maintenance. And you as a business owner may not even have the technical expertise to do that managing, which means taking on additional costs to pay someone like a developer to do this maintenance. Padeo doesn't have any of that. So it's super easy to maintain. There's no management on your end. And compared to other competitors, it's really, really affordable. And we've got different pricing depending on how much web traffic you're actually getting. Talking about other competitors, something you may have heard of are content delivery networks or CDNs. These are another kind of an adjacent competitor that aim to improve site speed. And the way they do improve site speed is by spreading your website files across lots of servers that are geographically spread in lots of locations, so that whether your users in California or whether your users in Japan, there's a server that's close by them and they can download your website files really quickly. You can see how that might not benefit a local business, a rural business, where most of your website audience is in a single region, right? So Padeo is kind of designed to help people like that, where CDNs or other competitors, they really don't address that issue. They really don't solve the page speed problem for smaller businesses. Going on that, the way we've built Padeo, once it's installed on your website, any future updates, any new features, they can be pushed to your website without any maintenance, without any management. There's no updates. There's nothing you have to worry about. Once it's on your website, it's easy and it just works. That's the design philosophy for busy business managers, business owners that they don't have time to take advantage, right?
And if you guys are using Shopify or any of these other platforms, a lot of times you can't get under the hood and change how the platform works. If you use WordPress, where you're kind of self-hosting and you've got a lot of flexibility and control on your website environment, there's a lot of things that you can do to make your website faster. But if you're using Shopify, Padeo is really one of the only things out there that can improve the performance of a Shopify website. Because Shopify is already using a CDN, and Shopify already has their big cloud system that makes everything work. And so by adding Padeo to your Shopify store, you're doing one of the basically only available things out there to make your Shopify store faster, which is kind of a nice point. And so, a big thing for us is transparency, because a lot of times when there's these tech startups that are out there that are throwing around words like machine learning and AI and all these other different things, it kind of has a black box nature to it. And so we provide a dashboard for you guys to be able to see what images and JavaScript and everything else is being preloaded for specific pages and specific products and everything else. So that way you're completely aware of what's going on. A lot of people are concerned about privacy for their website users. Padeo is completely GDPR compliant, and we basically show you all the information that we collect and all the processing that we do on that data. That way there's full transparency between you as a business and us as a data provider. So an interesting element for Padeo that we'd like to talk about at these types of events is how Padeo actually benefits people with limited access to bandwidth. So every year, right here in Eastern North Carolina, hurricanes just like slam the coast. And one hurricane, can knock out a lot of internet connectivity for people on the coast, to where they're having to use their mobile device. Bandwidth becomes very limited. And still even today, up in Appalachia, there's not very widespread internet connectivity. And so what's nice about Padeo is that for people with limited access to bandwidth, whether they're in developing country or Mount Olive, which is basically developing, you guys are able, it actually provides a simulated high-speed connection to a website, which is nice because it provides equal access to information, right? So whether if you are a nonprofit or a school or a business that has important information for the community, by using Padeo on your website, you're able to ensure that people have a better experience browsing it. And so for people that have limited access to internet connectivity, Padeo is a really good tool for helping people to have equal access to the internet. And so what we were going to offer for Accelerate Rural NC, if you guys want to try Padeo on your website, you can get 50% off our service forever with promo code GoPirates. And so that's what we're working on. That's Padeo. We're happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Well, I have two questions and I'll shut up. First one is, all of this applies to mobile as well as web browsers on desktops and laptops?
Yes, sir. So whether it's mobile or desktop, mobile is actually, the benefits are higher for mobile than on desktop. And so definitely when you have a mobile, since 40% of e-commerce is done on mobile, you definitely get a lot of benefits for mobile shoppers.
Okay. How much does Padeo cost, just generally?
So we charge $19 a month to use Padeo for up to 100,000 visitors on your website. And with the promo code, that'll come down to $9 a month to use Padeo. So
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's see what the people think. Have any questions that you might have?
I have a question.
Sure.
So when I first started working on small businesses as an owner and connecting your URL to your email and just doing all those steps as a non-tech person, I relied really heavily on tutorials and community forums. Do you guys have like a step-by-step tutorial on implementing your solution?
Of course. So on our website, there's some very helpful step-by-step instructions for adding Padeo. And we try to make everything as streamlined as possible. So if you're using WordPress, we actually offer a plugin for you that installs Padeo in one click. No matter what website you're using, you're able to add Padeo to your website in around 3 to 4 minutes. So regardless of how tech savvy you are, it's very easy to do. So.
Right. And those help articles, for example, if you're using Shopify, they're split up by platform. So if you are interested, you just choose your platform and follow the 3 to 4 steps and you're done. That's it.
Have you guys done any work with Magento?
We don't really test very much with Magento, but at the end of the day, Padeo works at a very low level of how websites function. So regardless of what CMS you're using, we're really taking advantage of browser features that are on the client side. So regardless of what platform is making the content or is saving the content for your website, Padeo works at the client level, where regardless of what CMS or content management system you're using, Padeo can work for you.
So it's really not server side, it's more client side.
Exactly, yes, sir. So
that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? Grant, you got any good questions to ask?
I have another one.
Okay.
Sure.
I recently met a gentleman. His name is Rod. He has a company called Rogo Fire,
Mhm.
and his business is for first responders, and it's specifically dedicated to areas where in a fire, the first responders do not have connectivity or cellular access. And so he's developed a technology to assist with that. I think it might be interesting if you two met to see if there's any way you guys could perhaps partner and see if there's any way to carry your technology into what he's doing with his first responder focus.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely pass our contact information along to you. That way we can connect with him.
Okay.
What is your
Um,
website again, please?
It's Padeo.io. So I can write that out if I don't have it anywhere.
I'll get it. No, no
Yeah,
problem. I'll post it.
Padeo.io. So
Yeah, I'll post it on our Slack channel. No problem.
sure.
Thank you.
So this might be a dumb question. So if it's client side, then so if somebody is using Etsy, for example, as their website,
Mhm.
then how will it work in that instance if it's not like a platform like Shopify or whatever, WooCommerce?
Since Etsy doesn't really give you a whole lot of access to inserting code snippets onto the platform,
Yeah.
Etsy tends to work kind of like Amazon or eBay or one of these other things. Etsy is definitely a platform that we're not really to have much of an impact on.
Okay.
However, if there's any other type of e-commerce platform that they're using to where you do have control of, head code or footer code on the website, then they would be able to use Patio. Unfortunately, Etsy definitely, as far as I know, doesn't provide access to that. So,
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. This is probably a really dumb question, but some people are looking at using things like Facebook and Instagram stores. Any comments about that?
yeah. Those are great platforms for being able to basically streamline the conversion process because a lot of e-commerce businesses get their new customers from social media. So being able to have a cart on Instagram or have a cart on Facebook really does streamline that process. I will say though that I would say that the adoption of customers purchasing on those platforms is a little bit lower than a lot of people would expect.
Interesting.
And so that at the end of the day, you kind of want to have recurring customers, right? For if you're an e-commerce business or a service business. And so having people return to your website and be able to experience your content and be able to engage with your social media platform is kind of the goal for most businesses. So that's really not something that we're addressing just because Facebook's shopping platform and Instagram's shop platform are all taking place on their platform. So kind of like Etsy.
So they already have CDNs or whatever optimization for because they're Facebook or Instagram. So you don't have to really worry about that as much.
Yeah. And they don't
Exactly.
give you access to it like in a way that Shopify does. Shopify does give you access to the code of the website. So
Okay.
mhm.
Shopify is making, they call it Shopify Facebook stores, and there's some sort of integration between your Shopify site and Facebook and Instagram. And I haven't really looked into that, but there's something there.
Yeah.
So, okay. Questions, anyone else?
Yeah, I have one. When it predicts what page is next, will it load only that page, or when that page finishes loading, will it start to load the next one too?
So I'll break your question down into two parts. So if you're on the first page, we predict which page the person's likely to go to next. But something to think about without getting too technical is determining what resources like the images and JavaScript and everything else are unique to that page. For example, and I'll go to our website for you to be able to see this. So whenever someone comes to the homepage, we will predict that they're going to the pricing or the features page. That's the URL that we think they're going to go to. But we don't actually preload that page. We preload the images and JavaScript and CSS for that page. And so what we do is once you go to the pricing page, if there's a big button here to get started to sign up for your account, and we've monitored the traffic when they are on the pricing page, then we're predicting the next page for there. So every page view, we predict the next page for, to answer that question. I will say that something that we do to improve performance is analyze which resources are going to be unique. So for all of the pages on our website, they use the same style sheet. And so that style sheet is already in the browser's cache. So there's no reason for us to preload that style sheet for the next page. So what we do is try to find what unique render blocking resources would have the most impact. So for example, for the industry retail and e-commerce page, this image right here is unique to this page. And so if we only have a couple seconds to preload some resources to make the page experience faster, we would prioritize this image because it's unique versus the style sheets in JavaScript that have already been cached on the previous page load. I tried to explain that simply, but if I need to clarify, just let me know on that. So,
Well, let me try to summarize. So basically, any unique asset you're going to preload, and everything that's not unique, there's no need to preload it because it's in the style sheet.
correct.
Because non-unique resources would already be loaded, right? Because the browser will store things that are loaded for a really short time so that they can be reused.
I gotcha.
So we try to look for things that haven't been stored already.
Okay. I have to say, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but did you see how fast that page loaded? Like, whoa, that's like an app. I mean, that loads like insane. That is really cool. Do another one so we can all get jealous about that.
Oh, sure. I hope it works, right?
Look at that. Boom.
Um,
I'm on dial-up in Pink Hill and it's instant, you know.
yeah. So,
That is so cool. Wow.
so you guys, whenever you go and sign up for Padeo, you can use the promo code for the platform, and you'll have access to a dashboard like this that will show you your traffic, your accuracy, your estimated load times across platforms. Gives you some insights into the resources that we're preloading, and so it's very helpful, I think. And like I said, it's GDPR compliant, so if that's a concern of yours, you're good to go. And so yeah.
If I could add a couple things to what Camden just said. So this dashboard is it's for a lot of information about what Padeo's doing in the background. But this is completely kind of superfluous information, right? You could never look at this. You don't have to manage anything on this dashboard. It's just for your insights. If you'd like to see how it's working, you can, but it works the exact same way, whether there's no setup here. You don't need to manage this at all.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's amazing.
So whenever you install the pixel for your website, it looks like a little code snippet just like this, which I'm sure many people have seen before when adding Facebook Marketing Pixel or Google Analytics or anything else to your website, Hotjar. It works the exact same way. And like I said, if you use WordPress, we offer a plugin for you that makes it even easier. And then like you were saying earlier, Rachel, we offer instructions for how to install Padeo broken down by what platform people use. So, yeah.
Well, it's incredible.
Sure. Are there any other questions?
I did have another question.
Sure.
And it might be a silly question because I just don't know. So do you have any future growth plans that involve using a plugin for people, for anyone to just add to the browser?
So I was actually playing with something like that the other day. The issue is mainly we could do something like that. However, for us to be able to collect information from other users and aggregate that data to make an informative, an accurate decision for the client if it's on a browser extension. The issue with privacy right now is a big concern for us from being able to aggregate website data and provide it to the individual user. So it's something that we thought about, which would be very helpful for tons of people. We're just right now trying to explore since there's a big conversation globally about data ownership, just what our role is in that field right now. But absolutely, to answer your question, Padeo could work as a browser extension, and you'd be able to see the same benefits that we're providing to the website. So,
Do you guys have any kind of salesy video anywhere, that short video that somebody who could get the gist of this? That I'm giving a talk to the North Carolina Specialty Food Association
mhm.
next Wednesday. I believe there'll be 500 or 600 basically specialty food e-commerce businesses.
Sure,
And I think this is something they really need to know about.
we'll make one for you.
Right.
Well,
Oh,
I'll
we
just show them this video from today.
Yeah.
Because I'll get sick of it. I won't know what to say, so I'll just say, well, let me show you something cool.
right. You said next Wednesday.
Yeah,
We can move quickly on that. We've been tossing the idea around of like really condensing this into like just a few minutes
yeah.
already. So we're kind of like in the middle of doing that already, and we could definitely, we'll speed it up and send you a video to
Oh,
use.
that's cool. Yeah, yeah. I've actually got a number of speaking things coming up over the next couple of months, and people think I know what I'm doing when I really don't. So I fool enough
Same
people
thing for me.
getting these invitations. So, but realistically, I mean, I'm like a lunatic on this speed thing because I mean, I watch people and or go to different websites and you click on it and all you see is a white screen for like 10 seconds.
Mhm.
And it just screams, I am under resourced. I got a piece of shit here, so
It turns people away for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And plus, everyone's ADD now, right? They don't have the attention span of a gnat, let alone a human. So it's got to be instant. And so I think you guys are really onto something. I think it's really cool that you made this this offer for our pirates, and we got a lot of pirates, as you might know. So be ready.
Yeah.
Yep, we're ready.
We have a number of people that have actually already gone through this program that are constantly in touch. So yeah, this should really really help a lot of people. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, man, that's great. I'm sorry I didn't have enough pre-game to really promote it, but summer's a tough time in a university environment, as you all well know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everyone's gone or working or whatever, but this is and I'm sure you guys know this, but this really is revolutionary from my way of thinking. In terms of solving a problem, even if ultimately they need something, they do need a progressive web app front end or some other heavy duty thing, that's fine, but there's nobody who shouldn't have this. The way I see it.
Yep. And like we were saying earlier, if you're doing 10K a month, you're losing out on $1,500 in earnings. So the return on investment for a $9 a month product is pretty significant. So
no question about it. And,
Yeah.
and the other reality of in our situation here, so we have companies that run the gamut, from recent graduates from ECU who are primarily selling to their age group, all the way up to people who are selling to old people like me, baby boomers. So, it really varies what they're selling, but a lot of them are selling, like in one class I had, we did the breakdown between mobile and web browser in terms of traffic to their website, and it was 92% mobile.
Mhm.
Right. So those were people selling to young, people in their age group, and their age group uses phones.
Mhm.
Now you go to some other sites and it might be more like 50-50 or some other, something you might more rationally expect. But I was really struck by the incidence of mobile and how few of our companies really have the ability to respond to that challenge. So when I read about you guys, I was on the phone or email immediately to try to get you.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, anyone else have anything they want to ask these guys while they're here?
Is there a time limit on the promo code?
No. So you can sign up whenever you're ready, and you will receive that discount forever. So
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely.
So can you guys talk a little bit about other things that you might be working on, problems that you're looking to solve beyond this issue?
Yeah. in the terms of what Padeo is working on, or what Ben and I are working on.
Either way, however you want to, I don't care. I'm interested in both.
So something that we do. So our company breaks up into a couple projects. And so Padeo is one of the projects that we're working on right now.
Okay.
We're also doing a marketplace for designers and developers to earn higher royalties for their work. So with Coded, we're offering 90% royalties for stock photos and graphic design templates and things like that.
Cool.
One that's very important to us right now is a product called Panaform. Oops, sorry. So Panaform is something I worked on at the College of Design that allows for teachers to broadcast virtual reality over the internet to a student's headset without any type of infrastructure or anything like that. And so that was something that we developed as an extension of Padeo, just because we're using some of the intelligence behind Padeo to determine how VR content should be preloaded. That way it's more accessible for students. Right now, VR infrastructure could cost a classroom $10,000 to implement, and we offer a $34 solution that begins working instantly. And so this is something that we're actually in partnership with NC State on. And so this will be available hopefully the next school year.
Cool. I could use it for this class, right?
Say that one more time, sir.
I could use it for this class, right?
Absolutely, basically.
Cool.
Where you can take a VR scene and everyone can just pull it up on their phones and view it at the same time. And so that's something that we're currently working on. And then Coded as well. So with Padeo, we're trying to implement as many features as possible right now.
Yeah.
Just because with software, or any tech company, you have to move pretty quickly in order to compete. So Padeo is definitely what we're prioritizing right now as a company. Just because there's a lot of excitement about it, at least with the tech community here in the Triangle. And we feel like there's a lot of potential for small businesses,
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the big businesses too. I mean, a lot of people don't even realize their site sucks. You know what I mean? In terms of load speed, it's not something they're aware of. If they're old like me, right? So yeah, that's phenomenal. Well, I think one thing I'd like to do, I'd like to share this with our deans or somebody who might be looking at this from a university perspective. I think ECU may well be a prospect because ECU, believe it or not, has the largest online student base in the state of North Carolina by a wide margin, actually. So they just have a really big online component of the university. So they might be a good prospect for you on that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So are there any other questions that we can answer for you?
Yes, I'm a digital creator and I would like to know more about Coded.
Okay. So Coded, you can go to coded.market. And I can forward a link to you guys.
Yeah, send the link and I'll post it on the Slack. Okay, Branson? And you can follow up directly. I don't think this applies to many in the class. I wouldn't.
So not to take too much time there, but that's just something that we're experimenting with right now. Definitely Padeo is our main project that has a lot of excitement. But we'll send the link for Coded Market for you. That way you can check it out. So.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyone else have anything exciting? This is really kind of unrelated. It's just kind of an odd question just popped up in my head. But are you guys able to look at a website, get a URL and say, you know what, we could improve it by X? Is that something you can eyeball?
Something that we're doing right now is just aggregating the real-time page load times, right? That's something that's very difficult to measure. How long a page takes to load, just because of a lot of browser security features, doesn't really give you access to that information. And so right now we're testing what the real performance optimizations are. However, something that Ben's doing right now is exploring how to integrate Google's Lighthouse project into Padeo. Oh, cool. Where we could run, analysis on a particular page and see what particular improvements could be made, right?
Is page speed rank put into Lighthouse?
So the page speed metrics that they have is built into Lighthouse, and it's something that any anyone can run just from Google Chrome or from Google's website to be
Yeah.
able to see Lighthouse.
Yeah.
That's not something that we're necessarily have production ready right now.
Yeah.
We're mainly looking at how we can get consistent data collection on real-time page load times. So
Do you guys do like webinars on this and have people come and listen that are prospects?
not ones that we host yet, just because we're
Just
slowly getting into it.
Yeah.
However, between you guys and other videos that we've been on, we've been hopping around a little bit. But no, we haven't started any type of webinar routine yet. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm just so impressed. I can't stand it. This is really wonderful. And I think the generous discount is also really good. So if all of you don't immediately sign up for this, don't talk to me again. Okay.
Oh, I'm signing up for all my websites. I got like 20 websites. This is incredible.
All right. So Branson just made it so that the rest of you don't do this. I don't care. Okay. Wandell, you got to do this, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, right.
All of you.
Indeed.
Yeah, and I got to get this word out to all the other players that we have that languish in this issue. We use Google page speed rank. I always use that to embarrass people. I put their URL in and give them their 15 score out of 100 and say,
Right.
Your page really sucks. And they all, like look at me, and then they come back like a week or two later and they go, all of our competitors are in the same boat. So I don't really need to make this change right now because frankly, I don't have the money, to put in Shogun front end or whatever. So I'm just going to deal with it. And I said, okay, well, so now we have a super secret stealth solution that you have to be a pirate to get. And that's too cool. I have to share with both Ben and Camden a really exciting thing that we're doing. So this is our first event tonight at 8:30 Eastern. So we are really big advocates of live streaming commerce with influencers as hosts. And our first live client is going tonight at 8:30, and they're called Booze Dogs. So it's boozedogs.com is the website. It'll be on facebook.com/boozedogs. We're having a grill master who's known as Pitmaster Pastor is going to be the host, and he is going to grill hot dogs and hamburgers that are infused with liquor that Booze Dog sells, and you can buy directly from the live stream during the live stream. So we're really excited about that, and this is our first live event is tonight at 8:30. I believe it'll be every Thursday night, but the first one is tonight. So don't miss it or you'll miss your drunk hot dog.
Are they using comment sale?
What's that?
Are they using comment sale?
Yeah, comment sold. Yep.
Comment sold.
Yeah, it's the first time Comment Sold has ever tried to sell food. So their entire organization is coming tonight to watch it.
Wow.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
And that's some technology that lets people buy the product by typing in the Facebook Live comments.
Yeah, and it connects
That's really
to
interesting.
your Shopify site or whatever. It's really cool and
Really cool.
very lightweight. It's cheap, relatively speaking. I think it's $149 a month for their deluxe, and that include. They also for the $149 a month, they will give you. They will make an app for you that runs on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, inclusive of for that same amount of money. And what they do is you try to build your audience on Facebook for discovery, but move them to your app as fast as you can so that you now have them on your platform. And they mostly have been concentrated on doing small retail boutiques, mostly in rural areas all around the country. Some incredible success stories, just insane. But it's kind of like Home Shopping Network without all the overhead and all the BS. You can just put your iPhone on a tripod and go to town.
Right. That's really cool.
Yeah. So we're big advocates of that, and we're trying to promote that because I think getting traffic is the biggest problem for rural e-commerce. It takes so much money to get any kind of critical mass, and this technology, they have little websites. They have 3 grandmothers in rural Minnesota that sell quilts. and I think they have 100,000 followers on Facebook.
Wow.
From all over the world. It's just nuts. They have another, I won't bore you with all the details. They have another one who is this lady with purple hair who sells plants and related stuff like little buckets and shovels. And they have a regular show and everyone gets drunk. The people on the camera get drunk and the crowd gets drunk and they just keep buying more and more. And it's called Red Shed. It's just insane. So anyway, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool deal.
Dennis,
So, yes.
what's the name of that? You said comment sold?
No. Oh yeah, the technology's comment sold. We've had classes on it, haven't we? I think.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. So I'll get anybody wants that.
I think that might have been one that I missed. Would you put that on Slack again?
I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
We've got their CEO is a friend of mine, and they're giving us a real good deal and everything and real helpful. So it's a pretty insane technology and it works really well and it really works for small rural guys. That's what I like about it.
Have they done anything with like a concert and selling the merch?
It's a really good question. On their website, they have an example. They did a deal with a professional sports team and they sold the merch, but I don't know if it was from, an actual game or I don't know. So it's something you can look into. They're all, I'm sure they're interested in talking, but about anything that makes sense. They're good guys. And I actually work with their national sales manager who's in Minot, North Dakota, of all places. He's a great guy, Michael Brooks. And anybody wants to talk to him, happy to connect you.
One other thing, I did everything I think Warren told us last week.
Okay.
And I got blue checks on my business side, and I finally got my music page pulled up, and they put my picture on the, like most local people don't get their picture put there, and they put my picture up, and I went from in 3 days, I got 160K impressions.
Yeah. Now listen to me, Branson. You have to write a review about this. And
I will.
How great we are.
Oh,
Accelerate Roll. Just blow our horn because I'm trying to get funding for another year. So this would be really helpful.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Hey, Branson,
Yes.
can you post on Slack what you did? Because I was watching what he did and our website's not even finished being developed. But I'd be curious to know, because we heard what he did, but I'd be curious to know exactly what you did, because that's really cool.
Okay. It was pretty simple. The easiest thing I did was I went to the My Google app
Mhm.
and I started. But what it does is it sends you a verification code. You put that in. It gives it about 5 days for it to come through. And literally, I had already did my verification code right before Warren, so it came like a couple days before he did. And once you do that, you put it in. I had already set up everything, and after you set up everything, then basically, it reviews it. It takes about 3 days to review it, and then it'll give you like suggestions, like you might say something, or you might say, "Hey, my company does this." And they'll change it to wording that's more accurate of what people are looking for, I would guess.
Okay, I'm going to have to cut this short because I don't want to bore Cameron and Ben. It'll never come back. Thank you guys for visiting with us today. So exciting.
thank you.
You guys are, I'm glad you're doing this stuff because it really needs to be done. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
All right, guys.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Dennis.
See you next week. Bye.
All right.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.